we have two culture regarding health and safety. First culture relate to the multinational. Multinationals follow all protocols, all SOPs regarding health and safety. In second category is local culture. We are not follow any regarding health and safety, uh, particularly in Pakistan. In local companies, this already Sarah told that it is additional burden, and invest huge money regarding health and safety. That's why bosses, CEOs ignore, neglect and ignore regarding these things. Okay, why we are investing health and safety uh, in
As
return?
we have to
In
focus
return,
on the business issues, it is very true thing. Rahil has put his very good information in it. So these are the basically the problems the organization are facing in nowadays. Are used to it that they will not fulfilling any duties. There is a legal issues and legal aspect as well. That is the one reason which is important for us to understand why the health and safety is important. We have discussed the moral aspect. Now, coming toward the second aspect, which is financial reason. So, as we have discussed that the organization is not fulfilling the requirement, they think that it is the extra burden on their finance. But what if the accident happen? Where will the finance go on that particular time? If the accident has happened, it will cost money. And we have numerous example, and I will share you some details about it in case studies that how the health and safety violations will lead the organization to the huge losses in terms of finance. So whenever there is an accident in the workplace, it will cost money. If the accident has a lower severity, it will cost lower money. And if it is in a huge way, if there is any death occur in the organization or there is any fire incident in the organization, the amount of loss the organization will face is uncountable. It will not be counted and the organization will collapse. We have an example of Baldia factory, as we have discussed in yesterday, that what has happened on that particular day? There was a fire, and that fire has put a lot of people into risk, and dozens of people have lost their life. And where is the company right now? You haven't seen anything of it, and the organization is out of business. There was an accident back in 2014, I guess, in Makkah. The tower was collapsed, and almost 41 people have died in the mosque. You must have familiar with it. The company is still facing ban in the country right now. The company was Bin Laden company. You must have aware with it. That one particular accident will lead you out of business. So the financial aspect is not in just way that we have to save our money. If we have to save or collect the money, and if there is any miss have occur, if there is any accident occur which lead the workers to the death, that will lead the organization in a problem, and they will lose their finance, and they will lose their resources, and they will lose their customer in a large way, and the organization will face the huge financial or resources losses in that particular accident. Now, in broader term, the Nebosh has categorized the financial aspect. If there is an accident, we have discussed that if we are working in a warehouse, a person fell from the height, the financial issue with the organization will be that they will lose their money. Now, these losses are divided into two things. The one is direct cost, and the other is indirect cost. Now, does it mean? What is direct cost and what is indirect cost? Direct costs are the cost which is arising from the accident, and it is measurable, it is quantifiable. We can measure it, we can quantify it. And indirect loss are the outcomes of the accident which will help bigger consequences, or it will comes with the particular time, and it cannot be quantified easily. Now, these two things, these two costs are related with the accident. If the accident happened, there will be direct loss and there will be indirect loss. Direct loss will be if a person fell from the height, we have to put our first aid arrangements on it, which will cost money, and that is measurable. It is easy to quantify. So we can say that it is the direct cost. The medical billings because of the accident will be considered as direct cost because we are able to quantify. What we will not be, or what we have to quantify, which is difficult for us, which in that particular thing, if a worker fell, the production time or the environment, the co-workers, these all will face the demotivation. These people will have the lower their morale, and the productivity will be affected from that particular accident. So this cost can be indirect because we cannot quantify the morale. Motivation cannot be quantified. And other thing, the customers, if we the warehouse has delivering some goods to the customer, they and there is delay in it, the customers relation will be affected, and that cannot be quantified as well. This is also the indirect cost. And if there is any enforcement action against the organization, and the legal terminology, there will be a fee. In criminal code, there will be sanction in the criminal code that are facing due to the accident, which are not easily be quantifiable. So these costs can be indirect. These are some example of the that particular cost we are dealing right now. Yeah, time. There is some example which will come in the next slide as well. So the main thing, you have the idea what accident can do to the organization financially. So you have to keep these two things in your mind, that direct costs are the cost due to the accident, and it is easy to quantify, easy to measure. The indirect costs are the costs which are uneasy to be quantified, or which are taking the time to adjust everything, or such as remedial action after the accident. So the indirect costs are basically taking time, and which the thing which is taking time are not easily be quantifiable, because we are not expecting that how many time that particular thing will be in a proper way. Now there is some example with us that are differentiating the direct and indirect cost. So sick pay. What is sick pay? If a person is injured or ill, the basic salary, the basic wage the organization has to give to the injured person, that is called sick pay. Okay. Production. If we are working in a production industry and the accident happened, the production will be stopped, and that is the direct cost of that particular accident, which can easily be quantifiable. If the material will loss, if there is any damage to the property, there can be quantifiable, and we can say that these are the direct costs. And other such example you can see on your slides. So direct cost, if there is any thing which it comes in mind, if it is easily be quantifiable, we can categorize it into direct cost. And if it is hard to quantify it, that will particularly categorize as the indirect cost. Here are some example of indirect cost. That investigation, basically, if the enforcement authority is investigating the particular accident, how much time will it take? Nobody knows. The morale of the worker will be affected, which will lead to the delays in productivity. Same like loss of time, the person has mentioned already, the goodwill of the customers, the relation with the other industries, and the reputation as well. These all are the issues the organization will face due to that accident. And to correct these issues, they have to put their effort in, and majorly, they will put the investment in it to attract the people. And how much money will they invest on that particular thing? Nobody knows. And that is why it is called as indirect cost. Now, the major concept you have to understand it there is some cost that are available or be considerable as an insurance cost, because there is in Pakistan and same like other countries, there are insurance companies which are financing the organization and give a major breakthrough to them in such incident to save their business. Okay, so we furthermore categorize our financial cost into insured or uninsured cost. So first you have to understand what is insured and uninsured cost. The cost which is paid by the insurance company due to their working policy with the organization, these costs will be insured cost. And if the cost is not under the insurance policy, this will be heading towards the uninsured cost. Now, in if you are thinking about the insurance companies, now in Pakistan there is a cultural issues that people are not protecting the well-being of their workers and not giving any sort of insurance. That is the major issues as well. Miss had to add something in that particular thing. Yes, please.
Sir, can you go back? I have a question
Yes, yes, yeah.
sir, why fine from the court included indirect costs? Even we can count or measure fine from courts. So why it is mentioned in the indirect cost?
Basically, if you read it properly, that is a legal proceeding. Legal proceeding is related to the time. If we are setting an example of within the Pakistan, if you have any issue regarding the legal proceedings and you go to the court, in Pakistan, it will take around 10 years to solve your issue. Likewise, in the industries, if there any accident happen, the legal proceeding will take time. You don't know about it in how many time these legal proceeding will end. So that is why fine, when will the fine be occurred on the organization? There is not particular time you can consider. If the accident happen, it may take up to 2 years to for the legal proceeding to be done. So the time is basically the issue. So that is why we cannot define that how much fine and when that fine will be imposed on the organization. That is why it cost as direct indirect cost. Okay. Okay. So we are talking about insured or uninsured cost. So the amount which comes under the insurance policy, that is called insured cost, and the amount which is against the insurance policy will be cost as uninsured cost. So uninsured cost is basically very limited. You cannot insure everything. There is some particular thing you can take insurance, or you it comes under the insurance policy. Basically, the claims, it can be considered as insured cost. there is particular equipment, like if you are purchasing any car from the bank, it can be insured because it is the equipment which is important. There is a building, in case of any fire, if the damages occur to the building, it can be insured as well. There is a production, a specific production that comes under the insurance companies, it can also be insured. And the medical cost, that is also be insured. So that is a specific and particular things that has come under the insurance policy. Now there is one issue with the insurance policy. The amount you will sign under the policy, it will be given as an insurance. If the amount exceeding the insurance policy, it will be paying by the organization itself. Let's have an example. If the insurance company has a policy of giving the 2 lakh rupees of insurance, and there is an accident which takes around 10 lakhs, so the insurance amount will be of 2. The other 8 lakh will be paid by the organization itself. So there is some issues as well with the insurance cost. So other than that, everything comes in uninsured cost: the sick pay, the damage to the equipment, the morale of the worker, replacement of the workers, hiring of new staff, investigation time, lost production time. So these all are the issues that has to be sorted by the organization itself, and it cannot be insured. So for that purpose, there is a case study which is called iceberg study. So what is iceberg? You have to clear your concept on it. The iceberg is the thing which comes in the large sea. There's a tip which we are seeing, and it make a sense of there's a very minor thing that has shown to us on that particular sea, and that the depth of that iceberg will go deeper into that sea, which cannot be identified. So insured and uninsured costs are likewise. The tip of the iceberg is basically the insurance cost, which is very limited basically. And the root of that particular iceberg, which is deep into the water and has a large in length, we cannot be identified, and that has the uninsured cost, which is to be paid by the organization. So insurance is basically protecting the organizations in such way that the amount is basically be justifiable and will be paid if there is any issues come to the country or come to the organization. We have an example. Back in 2020, there was a COVID moving all around the globe, and which are affecting the organization because everything has shut down. Now, the companies with insurance, the company with the better insurance policies had survived the whole period, and the people which are the organization having have no insurance with such companies has faced a lot of decline. They have they have facing the turnovers of the workers. The people left their job, or the organization is promoting them to leave the job as well. So if you are as an organization, you are taking the responsibility and you are making insurance for your company. That is one moral aspect as well, that you are basically finding the goodwill of your workers, and you are protecting the organization from bigger losses as well. So it will depend upon the organization to organization that how it varies. Now in our country, there is a employer liability insurance policy as well, and which is basically the legal requirement in Pakistan for all private sectors and for all public sectors, that they have to fulfill. Due to lack of awareness, the people are not aware about the legal issues that are present in Pakistan, or legal thing that are present in the Pakistan, we are unaware of it, and that is why the organization are taking advantage of. If I ask you that how many articles of the law are provided for the health and safety, nobody will say anything about it because we are not aware of it. More than us, the thief, the murderer will also will have the broader information about the law than us, because in our educational sector we are not familiar, or we are not guided by about the laws and regulation. In tomorrow's class, I will suggest you, and I will tell you about some legal laws that are present in Pakistan. In broader way, there is a lot of regulation that are present in Pakistan, and you will be familiar with it. That how many laws and what type of laws are available and applicable for the organization to fulfill. So there is an issue due to lack of awareness. Nobody has an approach to read or to be familiar with such laws and regulation. So that is the second major aspect. The organization are not fulfilling due to business issues, or they are promoting business. If the accident happen, they will face the financial losses in term of direct and indirect costs. Okay, and in very general, the third reason is legal reason, and in broader way, we will be discussing in today's lecture, tomorrow's lecture, sorry, that what is legal reason and how it is implemented within the organization. And the basic thing is the moral reason basically derives towards the legal reason. If we are not behaving safely, if we are not fulfilling our responsibility, it will lead us towards the legal reason. Okay. Now, my expectation from the organization is to provide me safe environment, and that is basically the last say, that the safe environment must be provided to the workers. That safe workplace, safe environment, safe system of work, training. That is a legal thing which the organization has to be provided to their workers which are working within the organization. So these are the three basic reasons that why, as an individual or as an organization, we have to fulfill the requirement of health and safety, or we have to promote the health and safety in the organization. The first thing is moral reason. Moral reason are belongs to the expectations, the duties, and the behavior of individual and organization. The other reason was financial reason. Financial reason is basically affecting the organization mostly due to the accident, and we have discussed that it will be affecting through direct and indirect losses. And the third important thing is the legal reason. If you are violating your moral responsibility, if you are not fulfilling the financial responsibility, there is a law which will be imposed on you, and you will not be able to run out of it. So these are the basically boundaries set by the international organization, set by the countries, and bounded us to promote the health and safety within the organization. As we have discussed that the health and safety is not promoted in a proper way, and we have set some example. Mr. Rahil has some ideas, and the ladies with us have given a lot of information that why the health and safety is being violated within the organization. So now we have some broader idea that why it is important for us, why we have to manage the workplace health and safety. We have people, and back to that people, there are families, there are society which are expecting the organization to fulfill their moral values. We are looking at some organization, and we are opening their website, and they have written the values that we are providing the safe environment to the worker, and if they are not, they will face the sanction through the legal aspects, and which is not acceptable both morally and legally. So, as an health and safety officer, we are responsible people on the side to protect not only the workers, to protect our organization as well from the legal and financial issues. Then how will we do it? Due to because of awareness, because of the understanding, we have to put not just onto the workers, onto the management as well. So and as a whole, if I summarize what we have learned today, that importance of health and safety is for every individual working for the organization, because it is the asset for the company. If the worker is injured, the organization will face the issues. If a machine operator is working for the organization and there is a production from that machine and a person is injuring from that particular machine, that production will be stopped. The operator which is experienced, that will also be lost from the organization. The organization will face some broader financial issues due to that accident. So it is our responsibility as a health and safety officer to protect the workers, which are basically coming to the organization to earn money and feed their family. We are protecting the organization to promote the better business, to promote the better production for the country, for the society. It will be only be done if the environment is safe, if the worker is safe in the workplace, and it is our responsibility to make the environment safer for ourselves and for our organization. If there is any issue, you can ask. If there are any question you want to ask, you are free to ask. Yes. Okay. Okay. Now we have an activity. Basically, we have to correct the option. Everyone must unmute their mic, and I will show you the options. You have to read the statement and answer it. What is the best we can put in it? Yes. The question is, the dash is the risk-free condition of human life. You have four options: health, safety, direct cost, and welfare. So, Miss Zaira, what's your thought?
Safety.
Okay, Wali said safety. If there is anyone else backing him,
Safety.
is he
Sir,
right or
health,
not?
health.
Okay, we have two answers. One is health and one is safety. How many of you thinking that the health is right answer? They can raise their hand. Okay, none of the person are thinking that is right. So what will be the right answer? Rahil?
Health. Health, sir.
Okay, Rahil said health. Walid,
Sorry,
what's
sorry.
your
Safety. My answer will be safety. Actually, I
safety?
overthink.
Ibrahim, what's your thought?
Safety, sir.
Safety. Okay, we have to put the answer and it is safety. Is it right or not? We will be checking by submitting it, and that is correct. Okay, the safety is the risk-free condition of human life. Now, moving to the second question. Okay, first you have to read it carefully. Now, the second question is, will you please read it? What is the second question? Please read it. Walid, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, please
Sir,
read it.
can you give us options?
Please read the statement first.
Yeah. Because it is associated with
Read it in a
defending
louder way so everyone can listen it.
legal fees associated with defending a claim from the injured person are typically
What cost? These are the four options: insured direct cost, moral cost, uninsured cost, or indirect cost. What is your thought? Sakib, what is your thought? What is the most appropriate answer we can write in it? Yes.
Sir,
Yes, you can answer it. You can select one. Yes, Fawad, please answer. Okay, Miss Saira, you would like to add something?
Sure.
In short, okay. In short, direct cost. Ibrahim, what is your thought?
Ensure direct cost.
In short, direct cost. Okay, anyone else? Ali Raza. Ali Raza, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Ensure direct cost is the right answer.
In short, direct cost. So I have to put the answer it and then let's see is it right or not. So it is the right answer that ensure direct cost is proper answer. Okay. Now coming to the next question. This will be answered by Ume Ramla. I will read the description and will ask Ume Ramla to choose the best option. The question is the cost of accident and ill health due to loss production is a type of. These are the four options: direct cost, insured cost, indirect cost, and welfare cost. Please read it carefully and answer it.
Because of the accident and ill health.
Insured cost, I think.
Okay, madam, would you like to add something? Is it right or not?
Sir,
So what is your answer? Please, you can say anything. Don't worry about is it right or wrong. You just have to answer it.
So I think it's indirect cost.
Okay, we have two answers. One is insured and other thing is indirect. So there is a lot of chat going around. Some are saying that it is direct cost. So we have to put where Ume Ramla would be the final answer. What's your thought? You can add it. So I have to submit the answer.
Direct cost, sir.
Okay, if I am selecting the direct cost and here it goes, it is the right answer. Okay, so you had
Sir,
yes,
please
yes,
explain this.
yeah. The cost of accident or ill health. I have said if there is any accident, due to this accident, there will be production loss, and the production loss can be quantified. So that is why it is the direct cost. We can quantify it. And the production loss is not being insured. We have seen that production loss is not insured. We can insure the medical cost, we can insure the compensation, we can insure the equipment. We cannot insure the production. So that is why it is direct cost. Okay. Okay. The next question is worker will not be able to perform their regular job while dash an accident. Yes.
Sir,
Investigating.
I think
Investigation.
Investigating. So if I'm putting an investigating, that is the right answer. Okay. So moving on, the morale of the worker is a dash cost when it affect after an accident. Please read it carefully. The morale of the worker is dash cost when it is affected after an accident. So first, you think is it be countable or not?
Not
Indirect.
countable.
Sir,
It's
indirect.
indirect.
Indirect cost. So we have to answer it.
Indirect.
It is
Indirect.
indirect cost. Okay.
indirect cost, sir.
Okay. So that is the basically the information we had discussed. So we had to repeat it. Moving to the question, basically scenario. So this is the last activity for the today's class, as we will be performing the open book examination. So it is important for us to understand the concept behind the open book exam. Now I need people who can read it this whole scenario for me, and I will be explaining by stopping you that what is important information in that particular thing. So first of all, I had to explain the information before reading the scenario. You have to listen it carefully. Okay. For what we will take your question later. First, you have to listen it carefully that what we are expecting from that particular scenario. If we are go to the question, which is down here, the question is about discussing the moral reason for managing health and safety. As we have discussed in today's lecture, the three reasons: moral, legal, and financial. The question is from moral reason. Question is comment on the hospital's health and safety model. Basically, in that particular scenario, we have a hospital. Okay. Now we are highlighting the morals related to the health and safety of the hospital, that how the hospital is taking the well-being of their workers, how they are performing in the health and safety, what are their values, what are their commitments toward the health and safety. This is basically the question. So in that particular scenario, we have to derive the information from that scenario, that what are the morals. So morals are the basically the duties of the organization, the commitment of the organization towards their worker, the basic responsibilities of the organization for their workers. These are subjected as morals. Now we have to take the information from that scenario. What is the health and safety morals of that particular hospital, which we'll be discussing, and we have to take the information from that particular scenario. So the question must be subjected to everyone, that we have to find the health and safety morals. Okay. If I tell you, if I have the restaurant, so the moral responsibility of me is to provide the best service to our customers, to protect the or respect the feedback of our customer, to give them a safe environment where they can sit and drink the coffee or the tea which the basically restaurant is serving. So that is basically the moral expectations the customer had from their client or from their restaurant. Likewise, there is a hospital. Now, by reading that particular scenario, we will be highlighting the information that how the health and safety responsibilities, how the health and safety expectations, and how the health and safety commitments are fulfilling by the hospital. So I hope you are getting my question, that in that particular scenario, we will be highlighting the health and safety morals of the organization. Now, you, any one of you will be reading it, and I will be explaining alongside. And everyone, if you have any sort of pen or paper with you, or you have to take your mobile and make notes of that particular points that we are highlighting from that scenario. Who will be reading that scenario for me? Raise their hand so I can start with him. Okay, Mohammad Israr, would you like to read it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, read it from the first paragraph. Yes.
Question number 2, the scenario is you are esteemed senior nurse in a health safety representative at a large reputable hospital that is known for its superior health care services.
Okay, so in first para of the scenario, there is a responsibility, or there is a role of you, that you are a senior nurse and health and safety representative. Where are you working right now? In a hospital. And what are they famous for their superior health services? So we are having a basic idea that what are we doing in that particular scenario. Yes, carry on.
The hospital is widely recognized for its exemplary health and safety standards, with many healthcare institutions looking up to its benchmark.
Okay, that's it. There is information that the hospital is recognized for its exemplary health and safety standard, with many healthcare institutions taking it as a benchmark. If I ask you to write down the information that in that particular line, what is the health and safety moral of that hospital, you all must write in the chat that what is the information in that particular line, what is the health and safety of moral of that institution, that hospital. Please write it down for me so I can read it from here. What are you writing? Yes.
It strictly adheres to the
No,
legal
don't
requirements
say
and
any word. Don't say a word. Just write the information. Wait for it. Everyone, I have put a question that from
okay.
first two line, what is the health and safety moral you have find in that two lines? Good. Okay. In the first line, there is an exemplary health and safety standard. Basically, the organization is putting their commitments and following the health and safety standard, basically. So that one particular thing is the health and safety standards, which shows the moral of an organization. Okay. Please moving on and read it again. Yes, yes, please. Muhammad Isra, read it.
It strictly adheres to the legal requirements and sets clear, tangible objectives that are regularly monitored and achieved.
Okay. Please carry on, carry on.
The hospital employs motivated staff who are unaware of their clearly defined and documented responsibility and are passionate about improving their services.
Yes, please read it till the end. Yes.
The rates of absenteeism and sickness are relatively low. The management values the opinions of the staffs and is always ready to address their concerns. They also professionally handle any complaints from patients. The hospital takes pride in its low accident rates and ensure that any near misses are thoroughly investigated to prevent more serious incidents in the future. Communication within the hospital is well established, enabling the effective resolution of complaints. The hospital is fully insured despite the high premiums. Regular internal and external audits are conducted to ensure that all standards are being maintained.
Okay. Now, here is an image in first paragraph of the scenario. We have in a hospital, you are working as a nurse and health and safety representative. Now, in that particular paragraph, I can see that the organization has exemplary, world class health and safety standards. That is the first thing I have taken from the scenario, which shows me the health and safety moral of that hospital. Moving on, in the second line, it is stated that it strictly adheres to the legal requirement and set clear objectives. Now, from that particular line, I can see that the hospital is fulfilling the legal requirements and putting the set of objective which is clear, and they are monitoring regularly. So it shows the moral of that organization Then moving on, there is information that the hospital employs motivated staff which are aware of their defined and clear roles and responsibility. Now, about the hospital, we can identify that they are retaining the employees, and there is documented responsibility for every employee working in the organization, which shows the moral of the hospital. Moving on, the absenteeism and sickness rate are relatively low. So that is the other thing which is very important. Why the absenteeism and sickness are low? Because the environment is safe, because the people are motivated. So that is why they are working in that organization. And due to the safe environment, the absenteeism and sickness are relatively low. Okay. And moving on, the management values the opinion of the staff and is always ready to address their concern. So, what does the management of the hospital do? They listen to the complaints of the workers and respond properly. So, that is basically the responsive action of the organization, is basically the health and safety moral of the hospital. And likewise, there is a lot of information which is addressing in that particular thing. So that will be your assessment as well. Your assessment will be, you have to read the scenario and pick the information and write it down in a Word file for me and submit it, so I can see how much important information you have taken from that particular scenario. So, if there is any sort of question you have, you can ask so I can answer it. Yes, please. Okay, I hope there is a good understanding with you.